Episode 3678, There Are No Shortcuts.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day, it's Friday, and that means it's Confessions of an Upset Mama. And yes, I hope you are ready for an extraordinary weekend. We're getting a lot of rain, and we need it though. It is April, showers bring May fires. What about you? Well, when we're raising kids though, right? Confession day, there are no shortcuts. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already even had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the K.I.S.S newsletter. They keep it simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. Well, how are you doing? Like, seriously, are you kind of driving yourself crazy? Are you counting down? You're probably less than about a month, maybe 6 weeks, depending upon where you are in the country, that life's going to change a little bit. It's summer almost, and we're going to have break. And maybe you're like, Christiane, why are you talking about this? Because that stresses me out. Could the kids just go to school year round? I know I get it, but come on, we got to prepare and we've got to be ready for whatever happens. I know my kiddos are about ready to embark on finals, and we've got a dissertation. We've got boards happening. I mean, our household is on fire for many reasons, all good, but it's one of those things where, it's a little bit chaotic, right? And somehow you find a way to get up in the morning. But when you're going through life, right, we think that if we cut through the grass, we'll get to the other side faster. But when it comes to raising kids, there are no shortcuts. You have to be in the long game to get to the other side. Each step, each stumble, each small victory all contribute to the complex tapestry of nurturing and guiding our little babies' young minds towards adulthood. And it's like, will they ever get there? Come on. And then when they get there, you're like, wait, can I just hold them? Can they be a baby again? And I'm like, no. They just need to move on and move out, because I have dreams too, right? We forget as adults, we have dreams too. You want them to be those productive adults, right? Ready to impact the world that they touch. But we live in a complicated world. It's a lot complicated. We're not in the pioneer days. We're not in the caveman days. Sometimes I wish we were, and sometimes I don't. It just depends on the moment. But when you've got societal pressures with all of the technology, you've got social media. I mean, the challenges facing us as parents now seem more daunting than ever before. You're exhausted before your feet even hit the floor. However, embracing the ethos of this long game and deliberately avoiding the allure of quick fixes, which I know is so tempting. Let's just go ahead, fast food it to me, call it up. Can it be delivered? Can my best child be just delivered to my doorstep? Storks don't work that way any longer. It would be nice if they did, but it's not. So at some point we have to say, okay, we're not going to sit here and fall for these quick fixes. Because what we need to do is embrace the long game, which will help us to cultivate that resilient, confident child. But you got to be willing to stick to it. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Stick to the long game. And it's hard to do. I know. There are times when my kiddos were growing up. I hope they don't listen to this episode. I'm just saying because secrets are coming out. When they were little and I had to put them in time out, it broke my heart. But at the same time, I was like, I can breathe. Have you ever had that moment? It's like, yes, a timeout. You made a mistake, so I get to breathe. Because you get a moment of solitude. Now, it is a moment, because I don't know about you with 5 kiddos, going to the bathroom wasn't even a moment of solitude. It's like I had to pee in 20 seconds or less, or guess what? They found me. Or something else was destroyed. I'm not sure what it was. It was kids being kids, right? We had 5 children under the age of 8. Crazy, awesome. I wouldn't change it for anything. But you have to be willing that when you get into this, right? And that's why parents never tell these secrets, because none of us would ever have children. Now, I love kids. And if it wasn't for my husband, we probably would have had 20. I would have been one of those mamas. I would have just had them. And I was very blessed. I had very healthy pregnancies. I always felt good. It was fabulous. I mean, I would be pregnant for the rest of my life. Seriously. I felt better then with 5 children, giving birth to them even, than I am sometimes just in my own skin. Ridiculous. My body. We'll leave that for another episode. But when we are going through our life and we're thinking, okay, now we're in the middle of this moment and they've just done something really stupid, or wait, they were just being a kid and so now I have to deal with it. It's just one more thing I have to deal with. You got to stick to the long game. And it's hard. It's hard to do because we get tired. We get worn down. We want to have that date night. We want to have that I want to sit on the couch every night and not do anything moments. But it doesn't happen. And the more kids you have, the longer it takes. And even when they become adults, you're wondering, are they ever leaving? They do eventually. I promise you they do. But it does take time. So we've got to be willing truly to stick to the long game. Now, I don't know about you, but did you know round 1 of the NFL draft was last night? It was good. I watched a little bit of it here and there and watched the picks, the Kansas City Chiefs, yes, who got pick number 1, who got pick number 2, the 2024 Heisman Trophy. Yes, Turner, he was picked by the Jaguars, I believe. I think, don't quote me on that, but I think so. So congratulations to all the round 1 beneficiaries of making it to the NFL. But you see, it sounds great, right? I mean, the families are celebrating, tears shed. I mean, whether you're an auntie, and I know my cousin actually played in the NFL for the Kansas City Chiefs. And so I'm very, very honored. I know what happens and I know the work that goes into it. And I know it's not an easy road to go down. And so when you look at the NFL draft, did you know that kids who play high school football, only 0.023% make it to the NFL? Did you hear me? 0.023%. Okay, give or take maybe a 0.0001, okay, in there, right? There's probably some errors there. But of college players, only 1.6% make it to the NFL. It's a sliver of a sliver of a sliver of a sliver, right? It's when you say, oh, you can do this, but your chances are like a half of a half of a half of a half. Good luck with that. If you want to play in the NFL, there are no shortcuts. And same goes for parenting. You got to be willing to put in the work. It's a marathon. You have to be willing to run it day after day after day after day. You have to get up early. You have to stay up late. You have to lose naps. Sometimes you have to not get what you want in life because you have to give to your children. There are no guarantees of success either. I mean, look at the stats. Just if you're going to be a high school player and you want to get in the NFL, crazy, I know. But by staying committed to the long game, you are laying the groundwork for your kids' future success and well-being. But it's hard. And I think that's where we just really need to recognize as parents, it's okay for us to feel like parenting's hard because it's supposed to be. Have you ever thought about how our Heavenly Father looks at us? I mean, don't you think he sits there and says, have you not figured this out yet? You've made 10 mistakes, the same thing. You keep making the same decision. Why haven't you learned yet? And then we are looking at our children saying the same thing. Interesting, huh? Well, what if you do want to stick to the long game? What does it look like? What types of strategies can you bring to your everyday that will help you get to that other side, right? Not by cutting the corner, but by running the long game. Number 1, embrace learning moments. Just like the football players out there, right? You don't become a star overnight. Children need time to develop and grow. With every mistake, every failure, every triumph, it's valuable in their learning opportunities. So encourage curiosity, that exploration and resilience in your children, knowing that these experiences are shaping their character, right? You're helping them do that by making the hard decisions to, not quit, but to keep going. And you're then providing them with tools to navigate life's challenges. And it's not easy to do. One thing that we did when our kiddos were growing up was that, you all, as they got older, by the way, you all could pick 2 activities. Now, if they had others, that's fine. but it was more like extracurricular. If it was done within the school, so if they were playing like a sport or two sports, so let's say soccer and volleyball. Okay, great. You can go play soccer and volleyball, 2 different seasons, not a problem. But if you throw in their dance and gymnastics and cheerleading, that's going to change a lot of things. So now we're going to 5 things. Well, you may have to make some choices there. Well, we would have to have them go and prioritize what they wanted, because if there was conflict, and they were in a small school system, if there was conflict though, they had to make the tough decision. And so we would want them to prioritize what's your number 1 pick, your 2, your 3, your 4, your 5. And there were times that we just said, you know what? Your team depends on you. You just can't go because you like this one better and you think it's easier. You have to stick with this because you said, yes, I'll do it. And you committed to them. You committed to the team. You committed to the whoever it was, the coach, right? And so these are all learning moments where they have to sit back and go, okay, yeah, I do. I have to make those tough decisions, and I can. And once when I make that tough decision, then I get to keep taking that next step and that next step, because I know that one step at a time leads to miles of greatness. And that goes the same thing for raising kids as a parent. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. You've got to take each moment as a moment, a snapshot in time, and help them live through that moment. Then the next moment. Because if you were to look at the overarching things of your entire life in raising one child, you would quit before. I'm just telling you, SCX, all I'm saying would not be happening. Because you'd be like, there's no way I can handle this. We got to do something. We got to use protection because I am not ready for this. And that's because our minds just can't comprehend it. That's why if you live in the present and you're very present in the moment and you go from moment to moment, yes, you need to look long term and understand that, right? Going back to the NFL players, if you've got a high school player, even a middle school player who shows talent, you don't sit there and say, okay, you're going all the way. You take it moment by moment by moment, team, season by season by season. Right? Until they get to the point where now they're in college, they've made it. Now they're playing college ball. Now you get to make the harder choices. Okay, wait, maybe they need an extra coach here to do this, whatever the case may be. But you have to embrace the learning moments, not the timeline. Big difference. Number 2, nurture consistency. Consistency is your rock. It is your cornerstone of effective parenting. Whatever you do, consistency. And that comes by setting clear boundaries, enforcing your rules. Whatever it is, if you have a curfew, stick to that curfew. Don't sit there and say, oh, it's only 30 minutes. No, it's 30 minutes late, so you're done. Whatever you said would happen has to happen. And I know it's hard because that makes you the bad guy. And it's not fun being the bad guy. I know. I was almost always the bad guy. Why? Because my husband, and this was fine, we made this determination. He was doing his career and raising it. Not that he didn't have a say in the discipline, but most of the time it was me who was around when things would happen. And so I had to take care of it. So I had to stand my ground, and let me tell you, it was hard at times. And again, secret, hope they're not listening. But there'd be times that I would have to discipline them, and I would go in my bathroom acting like I have to go to the bathroom. Like really go to the bathroom. But it was just to shed a few tears because I just couldn't handle it. It's not easy, but you can do it. And the simplistic part of it is you got to be consistent. Whatever it is, stick to your guns, right? Really stick to the long game. That's what matters. And being consistent in your actions and expectations, you are then building a foundation of trust and reliability, which will carry your children through the ups and downs of life. The roller coasters that they choose to get on, they'll be able to get off, handle their dizzy spells, handle the vomiting, handle the, oh my goodness, I should have never done that. And they'll be all right because you stuck to what you needed to do. You stuck to the long game. You had the consistency. You said, nope, this is the cornerstone. This is what I'm doing. Now, as they grow, as they, merge from one stage of life to another, of course your boundaries are going to change, right? What you're telling a 2-year-old isn't the same thing on what you're telling a 12-year-old or a 20-year-old. But you have to have consistency. That is what stays true across the board. And then finally, number 3, celebrate progress, not perfection. We've got a world that's like, yes, perfection is it, and it's all glorified. But it's important to remember that progress is the key, no matter how small, and it's worth being celebrated. And you need to celebrate it based on your individual child. So if you have multiple children, I had 5. If you have multiple children, and sometimes it might be the dogs and cats too, get them involved too, because you got to celebrate them. Oh, yay, you didn't have an accident as a 2-month-old puppy, right? Remember those days? Yes, I know. I do not want another day like that. We have a senior dog now, but we'll leave that one for another episode. Yes, they're probably about as tough, if not tougher, than puppies. But again, another episode. But seriously, you've got to celebrate individually. Yes, you can come together as a family to celebrate that individual, but don't group things together. Your children have to know that they are uniquely them. Does that make sense? Otherwise, what happens is they think that, oh, well, you're playing favorites, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. They're going to think that anyway. But I will tell you this, when you celebrate them, you acknowledge them, individually, it changes everything. And it's important to do that, especially as they really stretch and grow into their personality with what they're doing in their interests. So when you hit the middle school, into high school, into college, and then, now we're actually adulting, it's important to recognize that. And some will have more challenges than others. But by focusing on the growth and development of your child, your individual child, rather than fixating on the end goal, it's not about the results, okay? It's about their development. What are they learning in the process? You can instill in them this sense of resilience and determination that's going to serve them in the long run, right? Again, it's the long game. But here's the deal. Every single morning, you got to give yourself a little bit of a pep talk. You got to be your own cheerleader saying, yes, I can be that mama my child needs. Yes, I can do that. And sometimes it's not just in the morning. Sometimes if you're having a really rough day, you need to go into the pantry closet, close the door. You need to go sit in your car for those 20 seconds because it's just rowdy and you need 20 seconds of peace. And you need to say, you know what? I can do this. God's with me. God's got me. I can do this. Give me patience. I can do this one more moment. I got this. And it's moment by moment, the next step to the next step. That's how you're going to make it to the other side, because it's not about the shortcuts any longer. There are no shortcuts when it comes to raising kids. But I will tell you this, the rewards of patience, perseverance, and love are immeasurable. That's what you want for your family. That's what you want to chase. That should be your ultimate goal, because then as they get older, they're going to want to come home more. Why? Because you were really that mama, you were that dad that cared enough to say no, that cared enough to ask the tough questions, that cared enough to stick your ground, right? And say, nope, this isn't how we do it. Not here in this house. You were willing to teach respect, even though the world says disrespect gets rewarded. It's our right to be different, because that's what makes your kid unique. And it allows them to grow up to be uniquely their own, so they can go out and impact the world that they touch. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.